For this podcast, we're going to be looking at the book of 3 John. Now, this is a letter that John wrote to Gaius. In his letter to Gaius, he wanted to talk to him about two different type of people you might find in the church. Now, he's not talking about church the way we are, but we're going to apply it that way. And so he's talking about two types of people you might find in the church. One is Diotrephes and the other is Dimetrius. And just to be clear, you don't want to be a Diotrephes. You don't want to be a Diotrephes. You want to be a Dimetrius. And I will tell you that I enjoy reading the book of 3 John, or the letter to Gaius that we call the third letter of John, because it makes me laugh a little bit. So I'm just going to pick out some of the scriptures in here. 3 John chapter 1 verse 9 says, I wrote to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to be first, will have nothing to do with us. And here's a little commentary I wrote on this on page 564 of my book, Deep and Wide. This made me laugh a little. Do you know someone like Diotrephes at your church? They have to be first. All the message from God must be delivered only by them. They are the great poobah of the church. These types of people resist others helping in ministry because they are afraid that it will take some of the spotlight off of them. Ministry should be shared leadership. Anything else is not a good use of the talents. Every part of the body cannot be a foot. We need the other parts too. A foot cannot effectively do the job of the ears. Diotrephes, a difficult name to say, Diotrephes may have been the original Karen, if we want to take 21st century meme language to the Bible. He even refused to welcome other people. And he wanted to stop other people who wanted to welcome these other kind of people. And he wanted to put people out of the church that wanted to welcome these that he wanted to push aside. Surely I'm not the only person on the whole planet that don't see the parallels to this, to the way many churches and people in the church try to put out the gays and the immigrants and the transgender people. You know, to me, it's just so crystal clear. I don't see how anyone could stick their head in the sand and not see this. Diotrephes also didn't want other church leaders to come to his church. He claimed that his church and his ministry was his and his alone. Oops, it's God's ministry and God's church and God's group of people. Selfishness, power. You know, if you find that very invasive in the church you've chosen, you've got to leave. You've got to find a different church. And John wrote this letter to Gaius to help him in ministry. He pretty much told him that Diotrephes was out of line and that he was coming to speak with him directly. He then wrote that Dimetrius was a good guy and he has heard no complaints about the way he treats people. John identifies two things that are of importance when selecting someone to help you in ministry. First of all, they must be a person of truth. The real truth must find them honest and a person of integrity. Secondly, they need to have a personality that does not tick people off. An aggressive person with an abusive tone is not going to be a help in ministry. They will be a hindrance. People like Diotrephes, even if full of qualifications, will not be a help. People like Dimetrius are the ones you want to join you in ministry. And I think that is very, 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 very important. If the person who's getting all the work done at the church or in whatever organization you're in is very abrasive, they're rude, they don't know how to talk to people, they will not be directed and corrected. Even when they admit to making mistakes, they refuse to correct them. They have to be the person in charge. You can't build a church or an organization with those people, even if they're doing all the grunt work. And that's difficult, because if you push them out of ministry because they're irritating everybody, then you've got to say, well, now who's going to do all the work that they did? Well, maybe nobody, and maybe that's a good thing. At least you don't have someone who's irritating people. You know, I've had people come up to me at the start of a new ministry and says, well, is so-and-so going to be part leader of this group? And I said, well, no, I am now the leader of this group. And they said, well, good, because if they're going to have anything to do with it, I'll never come. And I'm thinking like, well, that's kind of a bad attitude, but I see the point. Maybe that's why I was asked to be the leader of the group, because this person was going around irritating everybody. So you have to look out for that. I mean, one time I was having quite a bit of difficulty with this same person. This other person was irritated with. Oh, and it was a very difficult time. And so I sent a quick text to my pastor and said, hello, hope you're having a good day. By the way, blank, and I put the person's name, is extremely annoying. That is all. Amen. Goodbye. And in a few minutes, I got a text from the pastor that said, LOL, I understand. And that's it. I mean, you know, I didn't really need to have a conversation. I just needed a safe place to vent about this very, very, very annoying person. And, you know, and here it is. I've been dealing with this person in ministry for 18 years now, and they're still extremely, extremely annoying. Did I say 18 years? That's not true. Yeah, that's true. 18, almost 19 years. And they're still extremely annoying and doing a lot of the grunt work, getting a lot of the work done, but they are chasing people away. And so it might be time to pull up our bootstraps and say, you're destroying ministry of the church because you have no tact and you're just rude, and we need to move you into doing something else that doesn't involve interacting with people. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay. All right. But I do like this book of 3rd John, because it is a message to us to not be like Diotrephes, but to be like Demetrius. Don't be a Diotrephes. And you really can't have people like Diotrephes included within the leadership of your church, because they're destroying it. They're destroying it. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.